All right, I guess we're ready to start the regular meeting, which is a special meeting because the regular meeting was postponed a week because I was away and nobody wanted to do this. For the month of May 2022, it's May 31st. It is a special meeting, right, Julie? Because it's not, and therefore we can't add anything to the agenda. Right, Julie?
That is correct.
Okay. Just to
And
make
I'm
sure.
putting up your agenda.
All right. I'll start with John.
John Smoliga.
Rob Horgan.
And I'm Russ Dorenzo. I chair the commission. We do have communications with the public. Or we do have a quorum. I'm sorry. Communications with the public. Joe Caranta. Joe here? No. Okay. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting from April 28, 2022.
Joe's here, and so am I.
I'm here. I don't have anything to say though. I figured I'd wait to the agenda item, Russ.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting from April 26, 2022.
6, 2022.
Anybody have any comments on the minutes?
Nope.
All right, we'll go to the wetlands officer. I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from the April meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Wetland enforcement officers report.
Hi, Russ. John Cody speaking. Julie, can you pull that up? I don't have my paper. My Wi-Fi downstairs was miserable.
Absolutely. And Russ, so you know, Sierra did join, so she's here.
Okay, Sierra, I'm going to seat you as a voting member tonight in the place of Sue Fitch.
Okay, well, back to the report. Most of that is just the administrative permits, which are filed down there. But the two topics above was the earthen dam at the Valeris property. I did an inspection there. Then it did go back with Russ, and we determined that they're fine. He removed all of the debris and the earth from the waterway. It was determined that there's no further issue. We dropped the NOV on that.
Right,
The
that should have
other
been on the
item that we have
John.
is for 9 Judge Bridge.
John, could
Yes.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But the NOV should have been on the agenda because we have to vote that. We can't just say, right?
I don't
So-
do the-
Julie, would you leave Karen a note to put that on next? I did email her and told her to put it on, but I don't see it.
Okay.
The commission has to vote to end an NOV. Although John and I saw what we needed to see, and I have no problem with lifting the NOV.
I just made a note. I'll let her know.
Can we
Okay,
add
thank
that to the agenda, Russ?
No, because it's a special meeting because we moved the meeting up a week. Can't add anything to the agenda.
Okay, the next item was 9 Judge Bridge. The applicant had put in a pool which was well outside the regulated area. During the course of the pool installation, later on, they went to reestablish the lawn. By doing that, they certainly did encroach within the 100-yard setback or view area. So what I did there was I went there, I initially said I need a silt fence put up right away. I wanted this mulch conceded to stop any possible erosion or sediment transfer. That was all done. And farther on down, when we get into the later on in the meeting, they did come in with an application and plenty of documentation of what's been going on there. So we can address that at a later time tonight.
So just so I understand that, how did they get approval to build the pool?
Oh, the pool is well outside 100 feet.
But
They
did
have
they,
a
did they
very
submit an inquiry form?
Yeah, there was a permit for everything. Every permit was done. The inquiry was filled out. What they did was when they dug the pool, they had soils left over and they just reestablished the lawn that was there, the entire lawn, not
But
just.
there
where
is an
the pool
inquiry
is.
form, right, that you signed?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Okay, we gotta have that documentation. Yep, okay. So they went into the buffer zone and now they need a permit for what they did there, right? And that's
Correct.
later on the agenda,
Correct.
right? Okay,
Besides that, you just have the pre-approval or the approvals that I gave out.
okay,
That pretty much sums it up.
thank you. Julie, could you remind Karen to put / chairman's report after wetlands? I don't know she can't seem to get that done. On every agenda, I want chairman's report. So if I have things to report to the commission, I could do so.
Okay.
It should be both. And they both should be at the end of the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, Sue Fitch entered also. Sue Fitch is now at the meeting.
Okay. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Russ. Sorry, for some reason I had trouble getting on tonight, so sorry.
It's all right. I seated Sierra for you. I will now seat Sierra for the empty permanent seat. So Sierra, you're still a voting member.
Duly noted.
So we'll move on.
Okay.
I need the
You're in your
agenda
old
back.
business now.
Yeah,
Can you see that?
I see your name.
Oh. I just put up. Let me
Give it a minute.
share my. Let's see. There.
All right, Neil Rusco. Me and Lenora went and looked at this and we had some questions, and the applicant nor the engineer were at the meeting last time. So we asked them to attend the meeting, and Rob and I went out and took another look at it. It's a very tough site. I did ask Karen to see if she could get a copy of the subdivision map so we could understand how these parcels were subdivided and when. Did she do that? Do we know?
I know she was looking for them, and I don't think she was able to locate them.
Okay, is Neil on? Neil Rusco? Is Brian Neff the engineer on? I think Brian's the engineer. Neither of them are here.
Neil's on, he's muted.
There. You hear me, folks?
Yeah, can hear you, Neil.
Okay.
Neil, when was this subdivision approved and how many lots was it?
Oh, geez. Before I was born, probably.
So you didn't do the subdivision, it was already subdivided when you bought it?
I bought 2 lots, Russ,
Okay,
and they were both a little over 4.5 acres, something like that.
and you built those houses that are on
No,
those lots now, right?
No, not this piece of property here is now about 9.5 acres, something like that. I bought 2 lots, a little over 4.5 acres each, something like that. And because it was so crude, I put them together. Even though they were, legal lots, I just didn't think I could put a house. I would have had to put one right across from the neighbor, right on the road, if possible. So I took the 2 4.5 acre lots and I made one 9.3, 9.4 acre lot and I'm just using it for one house.
Okay, so you didn't do the subdivision. It was there but when you bought.
Oh, yeah, that's
When did you buy?
a
the two
couple
lots?
years ago.
Couple years ago?
Yeah.
Um,
And then I had Mike Alex put the two lots together.
right. Do you believe the subdivision might have been there, made in like before 1987?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because if it's before 1987 and it's approved, then the Wetland Commission could tell you how to cross or what to do, but we can't deny you building, even if you didn't put the two lots together.
Oh,
But I see why you did, because
yeah, it's tough.
yeah, the lot number 8 there, you would have to build right on the road.
Right.
And if everybody could look at this, there's a big ledge between the wetlands and where the driveway's going. And I can't speak for Rob, but I have no problem with the driveway or the house location at all. My problem is where the driveway is going in, it's butt up against a very functional wetland. It's like the pristine of pristines. And I believe, not shown on the map, but close to the property line, there's a little vernal pool to the other side of the driveway. And I was wondering, Neil, and the reason why I asked about the subdivision, is there any way to shift the property line so we could put the driveway a little further away or do a shared driveway? It may not be possible, but I have to ask.
No, I don't think there's enough room, and I really wouldn't want to do a shared driveway.
Yeah, but
You know,
I don't know. Yeah.
if
Rob,
it was
what
a
do you
long
think?
road, perhaps. But sorry.
Oh, I agree. It's a tough, very, very tough lot, and it's got, amazing wetlands there. And, my concern isn't, really what's proposed. It's what happens in the future. If ownership changes hands and, you get the development that kind of creeps towards the wetlands over time.
Yeah, well,
lawns
how
and-
that ledge is like, it could creep to the back where that intermittent stream is, but that ledge is a protection. It's where the driveway goes in that bothers me, but I think I could accept this if we required that a wall be built between the driveway and the wetland. Therefore, the wetland be protected from a whole lot of things, including encroachment and things like that. I think a stone wall or even a fence, with a solid bottom, that'll protect the wetland, I think.
Is this going to be a paved driveway?
No,
You mean right now?
no, it's not.
Okay.
You hear me all right?
Yeah, yep.
No, not a paved driveway, never.
Well, the first 20 feet have to be paid to meet,
Right, the entrance, yes, excuse me.
right, to meet the town's requirement.
Right.
I'm not sure paved versus gravel is any better for wetlands, to be honest with you.
What about versus a wall, just markers, wetland markers?
It isn't the markers, Rob. It's not, here it is. It's a barrier like we did on Apple Lane, where we made them put, they have the house almost right up against the wetland, and we required a wall be built because it's a true barrier, and it will keep the wrong kind of runoff from going directly into that wetland area.
But a wall, you've got to create, like a footing for the wall, a stone, it's, a little more disturbance.
Why a footing? Why can't you
Well,
build
I'm not a concrete footing, but a crushed stone footing.
Okay.
So there is a
Okay.
certain amount of excavation that goes in with a stone wall.
Anybody else? John, Sierra, anybody have questions?
Yeah, but if you put a hand-laid stone wall in, that wouldn't be an issue, correct?
Well, you could hand dig. I mean, you still have to get down, get through the organic layer.
Why? Why can't you just do it like the old farmers did and just put rock on top of each other?
Well, yeah, but if you excavate an old stone wall, Russ, those stones go down. They're
Yeah,
not just laid on top of the topsoil. They're down to below the topsoil.
All right, you know better than me.
yeah, no, he's right.
So do
There is
those
a
old
basin built in.
farmers.
Yeah.
But even if you did that, I mean, you can do that with by hand. You don't have to have equipment in there, right? And that's something that would still, because if that's the area that's going to be blacktop, then there is a difference between the gravel and blacktop, and you're going to have runoff, and that would be helping to filter it, correct?
Yes, I'm just saying, like at the beginning of this driveway, you don't have I don't know what the distance is. I can't really read the map from the edge of the driveway, the pavement to the wetlands. If the driveway is
Well, the
12 feet,
paved part's gonna be right where the wetlands are next to, right there, right where you walk in, Rob.
right. But
20
I'm
feet,
saying, like,
right.
so if you have a driveway that's 12 feet, so the disturbance for a driveway is maybe 15 or 16 feet, then you add walls on either side, you're going out.
Well, I don't think it needs to be either side. It should be one side, the side where the wetlands are.
Russ, do you mean, are you just talking about near the entrance
Yeah, like
where
20.
where it's closest?
Yeah, where it's closest, right? I'd say up to the point where there's an arrow. What's that say? Proposed 12-inch. You see where the arrow's pointing, like in 30, 40
Proposed
feet.
12-inch, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, see that arrow?
Mhm.
Right, like up to there, just a wall at the entrance. I mean, because let's face it, that wetland is flowing towards the driveway. The driveway is not flowing towards the wetland. The runoff's going to go towards the property line.
Right.
And there's a depression right at the road and the property line. Could be a vernal pool. I think it's more of it's just a depression.
Yeah, no, I actually had that tested some years
All right.
ago by a soil scientist. Yeah, no, I think somebody went there with a bucket loader 35 years ago and took some fill or something.
Yeah, so it's just a depression, and it actually works as good as a detention basin. And I think a wall, let's say the first 40 feet, even if you got to do it with a machine, I think it's worth that disruption, short-term disruption for the long-term protection. Because we can't deny access to this property. It was approved before 1987. So we can't deny access. And Neil's actually doing us a favor by combining the lots, because he could get two houses if he wanted to. It'd be hard. And one of the houses be right up on the road, directly across the street
That would
from
be tough.
where my friend Jimmy Lowe's living right now. Yeah, and this application is just for the driveway right now, right? That's what Brian said.
Well, I want to clear the trees.
So it's for the driveway and the
For the
septic.
driveway and the lot and I'm just getting rid of I'm getting the trees between the dotted lines, but I don't have a permit for the house yet. That's next. I just wanted to get the driveway in first,
Anybody have any questions?
No, but I think you're right, Russ. I think a wall going up there to that point where the arrow is a good idea to protect that.
So if I put a wall there, do you want me to put the wall on I can dig down there a little bit?
Yeah, with a little machine. Yeah.
All right. I think I'll put it as close
And
to.
at the end of the driveway, you could push it out a little, because you're going to want to get trucks and things. People want to get deliveries when they move there, and we don't want them hitting the wall all the time. So you see how the blue line wings out? You could follow that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And it doesn't have to go up very high, really. It's just for, yeah.
2-3 feet, 2-3 feet.
Yeah.
Even 2 feet. I mean, it's just really to make a permanent barrier and stop things from during heavy rainstorms, the water will go the other way. And if
Okay.
it does go towards the wall, it's gonna break it up.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Yeah, there's a culvert right there where that wetland drains across the road into another huge vernal pool, beautiful wetland area.
Okay.
So the town has to clear that out now and then anyway. So right at the entrance there, I'm not too worried about it. It says you go in. Rob, you agree?
Yeah, I just have a question though, because typically this driveway coming through, would have a slight crown to it. The water would shed right and left.
Well, you could tilt it one way. My
Well,
driveway's
no, I'm
tilted
just
one way.
saying, though, between the driveway and the wall, is there gonna be drainage to carry it to that culvert you're talking about?
Or it could tilt it towards that depression.
Okay.
Is the
Well,
best thing to
Yeah,
do.
but
I
think
know
that-
you're a driveway snob,
I am.
but you could, the mistake, as you know, Rob, they make with all these driveways is they crown them, and then over time it becomes a big thing in the middle and two gullies on each side of it. I've always been in favor of driveways that are tilted and tilt them downhill, not uphill. Like my driveway, they tilted uphill and built a culvert. I mean, a swale, and it doesn't work.
Is there other than this map, is there a driveway, a drainage plan or anything for that, that shows any of this or not?
Well, it shows there right at 4-inch minimum base, 2 inches across stone, filter fabric underneath, right, Neil?
Yes.
But if you need more detail than that, I think that detail's fine for me.
Right. It's a flat
Brian
drive-
did this plan, and I know what Brian would say.
Yeah, well, actually,
You
I'm
don't
here,
really need
Russ.
drainage. You don't need drainage because it's flat, right, Brian? I mean, you just got to
Well-
tilt it right.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the contour lines, you're going straight across the driveway.
Right.
If it's crowned, it's got a curve to it, but I've got straight lines going across, so it can be tilted one way or the other.
Yeah, I like them tilted downhill.
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with uphill, but it don't work.
Now, just a quick question. I was running late, so I didn't get here on time. Put a wall between the wetlands and the driveway?
Yeah, 2 feet high, 40 feet in.
Okay, from
This
the
is a
entrance, 40 feet
buffer.
in?
Yeah,
Okay.
right from the entrance in, 40 feet, 2 feet high is good enough.
Okay,
And then, as you know, Brian, the first 20 feet has to be paved anyway.
right.
Right. So the rest of it's gravel. Any other questions? Rob, you want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll move to approve this as a regular activity as proposed, with the condition of putting a wall on the north side of the driveway to protect the wetlands from the road in about approximately 40 feet,
2 feet high.
2 feet high.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. Thank you, Neil. Thank you,
Thank
Brian.
you. Thanks, folks.
Yep.
Okay. Next, we have Javier Morales, 44 Booth Road, Gardens by Jeffrey Jones.
And who's here for this? Is
I think-
anybody here for this application? Is Jeffrey Jones here?
He's muted. Jeffrey, you're muted.
Okay, how's that?
Jeff,
You
I
know-
think we were supposed to call you and do a site walk, and Karen didn't have you on the list, so Rob and I did a bunch of site walks and missed you.
Well,
And
that's
I
disappointing.
apologize for that.
John has actually been out to the site.
All right, John, you're up.
Okay,
Not
yeah,
me.
I haven't been to the site, The only concern that I would have is because of the machinery within the setback, it has to go through wetlands to get the approval. They wanted to work on the ponds up in there, clean those out and do some stuff and some underbrush, invasives, kind of like the same stuff we get all the time for this. I don't know if you have any questions you want to ask me or.
No,
anything else
I
can
think
put into
Rob and
that.
I just want to look at it because it's standard practice. I didn't really have a problem at it, looking at this plan and knowing that there's a professional who's going to be supervising it. And it's not some homeowner who gets approval and then goes and slashes and burns the place. But if you've been out there and you're comfortable and you don't see any issues, you're the one who's going to be watching it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't have an issue with it, but because of the machinery and the invasives, like, and I had to go to the commission.
No, it had to come to the commission. There's no doubt about that. I'm not questioning that. I'm saying not to make this poor guy wait another month.
Oh, yeah. I
do
have
you have
no
any
concern
issues?
whatsoever. I mean, we can monitor that. That's simple. And
All right.
it's reputable company. Not too worried.
Any questions on this application? Sierra and Sue, it's a planting plan, get rid of invasives, clean out the ponds. The planting plan, you can see it there. What's the different colors for it, Jeff? The purple is one
Purple
thing.
is clear is clearing in the regulated area. The pink is an orchard that's not in the regulated area.
Okay.
And there's just two different colors for what's the height of the mowing.
Okay.
And they want to take basically a hayfield and turn it into a pollinator meadow with some paths through it and some mowed lawn.
Awesome.
Yeah, it would be a nice project. It's
Yeah.
been a nice project.
Okay, I need a motion to a motion. Somebody make a motion?
I'll make a
I'll-
motion to approve this.
Do I have a second?
Oh, is this a regulated activity?
It is.
I'll second as a regulated activity.
Thank
Hey,
you.
hey, Russ, this isn't maintenance then, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, Jeff, is it maintenance or are we
Well, the-
changing?
So I would say that on the pond work, we're fixing an erosion problem. We're there's 7 on the drawing there where we want to do that riprap wall that's eroding pretty heavily. We just want to fix that. And
Right.
we're not doing anything to the ponds other than we would dredge the upper silt pond as a maintenance issue.
Right.
Yes.
And all the plantings in the upland zone, not in an actual wetland or water course.
That's correct.
Right. So this, John, you had it right. This is a we could approve this as a non-regulated activity because it's maintenance of the ponds and then planting, which we could exempt as a right of a residential, for enjoyment of a residential property to plant like that. So John, go ahead and give me a motion to approve as a non-regulated activity.
I'll make a motion to approve this as a non-regulated activity.
And I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Thanks,
Motion
everybody.
carries. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry, I missed that one, Rob. That would have been a nice walk.
Okay, we now have 53 Southbury Road.
Brian, you here for this?
Yes.
Thank you. Rob and I went and looked at this. It's very sad that they did all that disruption and now they're going to fill the pool in. My understanding is the pool has a crack in it or has become structurally unsound.
Yeah, I guess there's a few different cracks in it. It looked to me like, well, remember that was all hard ledge.
Right.
The owner blasted everything out. I think he overblasted. I don't think he consolidated the ledge below. I think some of that ledge has moved and caused the pool to crack.
And it's too expensive to fix, so it's better just to fill it in.
That's the thought. And probably somebody else will put a pool there in the future, I'm guessing. It's a likely spot for it.
Excuse
So
me,
they're
Russ.
gonna
Can I
break up the concrete, pull out the rebar to recycle that, bring in some common fill and just make a lawn out of it for right now.
My only concern is if you fill it, I noticed a lot of broken up concrete, and the proposals to put broken up concrete, crush the whole thing in place, right? And then
Right.
just put topsoil on top of it.
Yeah,
But what's
fill on top.
supporting it is that stone terrace, and will that terrace be structurally compromised?
Well, the terrace didn't seem like it had any cracks in it.
No, it didn't. But I'm saying I guess water's heavier than all that dirt.
I think they did the terrace after they did the pool as kind of a surround. So I don't think it's exactly connected to the pool itself, that terrace. I think they poured that afterwards as a slab underneath the terrace.
Okay. Rob, you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, only because of what Brian just said, that someone will probably buy it, and put the pool back in. So if you implode this pool and put all the concrete in there,
They'll have to dig it out and re-prep it, I'm sure.
Excuse me, it's John Cody. Russ, the homeowner did call about a week and a half ago, and he was trying to find a pool contractor that would be able to do a pool inside that. He hasn't gotten back to us.
That's
so
probably
it's
a
been
better
limbo.
idea, and he's probably not able to find a pool contractor who will call you back right now.
Hey, Russ, this is Michael Ruprecht from North Star Building. I'm doing the demolition portion of it.
Okay.
The homeowners has been trying to get every possible option to sell the property. He bought the property last year and found out that he couldn't fix the pool just because it was in so much disrepair. And now he's trying to sell the property at the moment, and nobody wants to deal with the pool. So his intention was to fill it all in and put nice lawn there in place of it. And someone else that was interested in buying it asked him about it, and he's just looking at other options. But every pool contractor, the pool contractors that I work with, they came and looked at it, and they said, we don't want to touch it. This thing is a nightmare. They recommended me, don't you try to fix it. This is
Right.
not a good.
And they don't need work right now. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. But he, that's not our business really, Rob. I mean, the proposal before us is to fill it in, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we can't make a decision based on what may happen down the road.
I guess you're right about that. It's just, it's a very ominous, site, over, that big, huge wall that we had concerns with the initial approvals, and we're working on the top of that, overlooking the Lake Laureate. How's the equipment? How's the equipment getting in there?
I'm sorry, what did you say? How is what?
How's the equipment back and forth through there?
The idea is the excavator would come from the house. There's a space between the house and the pool itself. The excavator was going to come in there to break everything up where we started doing that. And then the fill was going to be dropped in the driveway, and the small skid steer was going to carry that fill in and out. So it's not going around that front retaining wall. It's staying in the middle of the yard. So it's not coming in the lower section. Everything's coming from the edge of the house to the middle of the yard.
Mm-hmm. And none of that other, like that gun-eyed waterfall, it's just that pool area.
Correct.
The waterfall's staying?
The retaining wall that's in front of it is staying, yes, to use that to retain the earth in front of it. So we're back an additional 5 feet from there. The wall that's in the pool that separates it is coming down, but the waterfall edge is going to be left for as a retaining wall to keep it back further from that plateau area.
Okay, so when I'm looking at this demolition, the slash lines where it's, so not the common wall between the pool and that.
Where it says stone terrace, there's a wall right in front of it that says stone
Okay.
terrace.
Yep, I see
that's
that.
staying
That's
in
not
place.
Xed out. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yep.
Any
And
other questions?
The steps themselves are staying as well too, to give it a natural, the grade is going to be somewhat minimal as well, pitch. So it's going to follow the contours of the steps.
Any other questions? I'll look for a motion. Rob?
I don't know, Russ. I'm just a little concerned about this.
Okay. Okay, all right. Anybody else want to?
I think we should do a walkthrough for this one. Just to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't see it, but me and Rob did.
Oh, you already saw it?
Yeah, we already did the walk. That's what we were.
Sounds.
I don't really have a problem with it. I don't see what the option is. What's their option? Tell them they can't fill it in, and then I'm trying to tie it to what.
I know.
What potential impact is this to the wetland? It's none compared to what we approved years ago, which I'm looking at it now, and we probably shouldn't have ever approved this monstrosity, you know. But we had expert after expert come before us. We had a structural engineer who said that there's no way the pool would become structurally compromised. Well, he was wrong, I guess, or the contractor who built it didn't build it right. So they're left with this problem. I don't know how we deny them not being able to fill it in. I can't leave the hole there.
All right. I'll go back on this, but just one last question. The silt fence that's above the wall, should that be carried around a little bit farther? And I would assume where the pool equipment's going to be removed.
It's already been removed.
Okay. All right. I kind of don't remember, Russ, where that silt fence goes. If that should go farther along, on the, above that great big retaining wall.
Well, there's so many rocks and stuff. The silt fence in front of it won't make a difference, I don't think.
I believe that whole area, that all is rock there. That's we started the fence right at the edge of the lawn area, and everything else past that is all either ledge or stone or steps as it goes up the side of the pool area.
Rob?
Russ, I think we should have some sort of oversight of this process to make sure that.
Yeah, John, you're going to have to keep an eye on this if it's approved.
Making sure that nothing is past, that wall, the barriers, that I think that there should be some sort of close oversight done on it.
You mean make them hire an engineer to certify that?
No, like John go out there. But
right, which he does.
Close eye on it.
He does all these, but it's good you're mentioning it because we'll give him a heads up that he really needs to keep a close eye on this, which he has been. And that's why it came to our attention. He's the one who found them doing this and they didn't have a permit.
We had a we went to the building department and they gave us a demolition permit. And that's when John said, "Oh, wait, we need the wetlands permit," and we stopped everything. So yeah, so we had a permit in place and told we're okay. So as soon as Mr. Cody came, we stopped and we were we were expecting that the permit was in place to go. We didn't we weren't trying to do anything all sneaky.
Russ, it's John. It's simple. I could drive by there. I drive by it 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah, you need to keep an eye on it when they start. So, what's your name from North Star?
Michael.
Mike. Make sure you contact John, get his email, get his text, and just let him know when you're going to start, if it's approved. I'm still waiting for somebody to give me a motion. I
All
just
right.
don't know what the feasible and prudent alternative is.
I agree with you, although I'm not happy about this whole project. I will make a motion because I do think they have the right, because the thing failed, to, to get rid of it. So I'll make a motion to approve this application as a regulated activity.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, and that the condition on that, Mike, is you need to contact John Cody before you start work so he knows, and then he could stop out as he sees fit.
No problem.
And John, for the commission, we want to make sure that the lake is protected, obviously, and that the erosion controls are in place. And even if the ones that are shown aren't working, that there's measures taken to protect the lake. Okay. Next. Pels Matthews, 220 Painter Hill Road. Rob and I went and looked at this. He wants a, he had a bunch of things, didn't he, Rob? Somebody's talking. You need to mute, please. There were several things on the application. One was to increase the amount so they don't have to back their cars out of the driveway. So making the driveway larger, putting in a pool, couple other minor things on there.
There's a portico on the pond side of the house where they're extending the driveway to.
Right. And their pond, and as we said, if they mess up, they're going to fill in their own pond, and that's not going to be good for them. Well, the pool is, I had no concerns, and he wants to extend the deck out the back, which again, there was no reason to be concerned about any of this, in my opinion. Rob, you feel the same?
I had no problem with anything they're proposing.
Okay. So go ahead and make a motion.
I'll move to approve this as a regulated activity.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, next.
Okay, got to switch over. And give me one moment. Okay, under new business, 1 Judge Ridge Road.
Okay, Joe, you're on. Joe Caranta, are you here, Meredith?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Russ?
Yep.
Great. So we'd like to farm the areas outlined in the map that we provided. We're going to be growing some organic vegetables. And last year you guys approved an area on the other side of our property that is slowly deteriorating because of some stream bank erosion. And we'd like to farm the 2 shaded areas. The area to the left is a piece of property that our neighbor is going to allow us to use. Both areas are within the 100-foot setback of a delineated wetland.
Right, but they're not in the wetland, right, Joe?
They're not.
No, they're just in the buffer zone.
That's correct.
Right.
If you guys have the capability and I can screen share, I can show you how we're growing, if that's helpful. But we're growing in row
So
crop.
Dennis and Janet, they're going to allow you to use their property to farm or to
Correct.
grow, expand the gardens.
Correct.
But do you have a letter from them?
They filled out the application.
They did? Could you
Yes,
go
sir.
back? I didn't see that. I saw your name.
I handed in 2 applications to Mr. Cody,
Oh, okay.
one for each property.
All right. I only saw the one. Okay.
That's mine. And then the one that was just before it was the one that Dennis filled out.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No
Yeah.
questions?
None for me, Russ.
Rob, Sierra, Sue?
Just my only question would be, because I can't really read this map, would be like farm equipment stuff. Does it go, it doesn't have to go through the wetlands to get to these fields or anything?
Oh, sir.
Okay.
Do you have to clear a lot of land, Joe? Cut down a lot of trees?
No.
Oh, okay. There's some areas in there are invasive, so it'd be good to cut it all down.
You're absolutely right. So this area is already, well, I'm sorry, you can't see my mouse. The area on the map to the right is already cleared. The area to the left has some winged euonymus and some barberry and some bittersweet wrapped around a few cedar trees, and that's the extent of the vegetation that's there. So it would be an environmental improvement to remove that anyhow.
I don't think you need a residential, I mean, I don't think you need a agricultural exemption. You could do this under normal. This could be approved as an as of right under residential.
Correct. Yeah, through a 22A-40
Right.
as of right exemption.
That's really, I think, more appropriate than agricultural, because agricultural is if you're selling it and you have to either generate $15,000 a year or spend more than $15,000 a year.
Well, the 2 applications that you have before you are the jurisdictional rulings for 22A-40s, Russ.
So it's the residential one?
There's no there's no way to distinguish a 22A-40 from a residential garden or commercial farming operation. It's either farming or it's not.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
Go ahead, Sierra.
is that sufficient? Just like the next door neighbor putting in the application, like what if they move and sell the property and that sort of thing? Isn't there any other paperwork legally that's required to build a farm on somebody else's house?
That's a good question, but if they move and they don't want the new people, Joe, to farm there anymore, Joe's not going to be able to do a thing, right, Joe?
It's a pretty standard farming lease that any farmer, I mean, quite frankly, most farmers in Connecticut aren't farming their own land anymore because we fractionalized it so much. It's a good question. But the answer is that if someone else buys the property and they don't like Joe and they don't like farming, they can evict us.
Right.
Does John Cody agree with that? I just want to make sure that, you know, we have all our.
And by the way, that wouldn't be a wetlands issue. That'd be a zoning thing, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it's zoning, but I mean,
Okay.
you know, just asking all the questions.
Is John around? We can't hear him. He's in a halo somewhere.
He's in outer space.
Yeah. But anyway, Sierra, it really is a zoning. If we got to look at this as wetlands, it doesn't matter what John thinks because it's up to us. He's our enforcement officer.
Oh, okay, so he would, check off on it after we said all the, wetlands is okay?
Yeah, yeah, it's up to us. Once we give the permit, he's got to make sure they follow it, and this is an easy.
Okay, I just want to make sure there's checks, so
Well, there's no, and I don't mean to harp on particulars, but I think it's important to be thorough. We're not asking for a permit. We're asking for a jurisdictional ruling that the.
Yeah, right, Joe. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, I just want other. I know you're very
I know,
familiar
but
with this,
it's
Russ.
I'm talking in general terms. When you
Yep.
give a permit, and a jurisdictional ruling is saying you don't need a permit because you have an as of right. It's all the same. John Cody doesn't have a say on that. But Sierra, just so you know, John Cody can sign off of any as of right use except agricultural. That has to go to the commissions to agree that it is exempt and it is a as of right under agriculture. It's the only one for some reason.
And just for the record, Russ, we do have a federally registered nonprofit. We talked about this at the last application. So we grow food to feed the needy. We do sell a portion of those vegetables that we grow to subsidize the operation. So, yeah, I mean, I thought the agricultural exemption was fitting for the operation.
All right, commission, do I have a motion to approve this jurisdictional ruling as an agricultural exemption?
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
What's
Thanks, guys.
next?
Have a good night.
Thank you, Joe.
Take care now.
Thank you, everybody.
We got a bunch of new houses coming up, right?
Yes, South Street.
Where's lot 2? Is Peter here? Or Paul?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Paul.
How are you tonight?
Russ, I'm the engineer on it, Russ.
Hi, Doug. How are you these days?
Good, Russ. Keep myself
Good.
out of trouble, that's all.
Stay out of Fairfield County.
No, I'm still down there too much right now.
I know. So, Doug, you want to tell us about this?
Sure. Can I share the screen? I got a color rendering of the property.
Yeah. Julie will let you in.
Okay.
Let you in. Hold on. Let me
Go
stop
back
mine.
one. I think that's the map.
Screen one.
Oh, go ahead. You can go ahead and share.
Okay. Okay, so what we've got here, get this load up a little bit. Okay, so this is a lot that was subdivided a number of years ago, I think around 2005, 2007, with a parcel that was over on this side here. It's like a little over 6 acres. They cut it up into 3 acres, a 3-acre parcel. This is
Whereabouts on South Street is it?
it's,
Like,
I think it's maybe the second driveway on the right past Minor Bridge on the west side.
oh, okay. I think we approved the driveway years
Yes,
ago.
yeah, I think you did. There's a driveway. This is
Right.
this is South Street here. There's an existing driveway that went across here to service
Right.
this house over here. The new driveway is on this side here. So what we're doing is we're gonna utilize the same driveway cut and then bring the house in in that driveway in. The driveway has already been cut in already, so it's because they must have done that when they did the subdivision back in the day. So the
Yeah,
driveway is already in.
There's no
So what-
wetlands here, though, is there?
So the only wetlands we have, Russ, are on, this is the property line. It's to the west of our property. So we have a wetlands boundary here. This is the upland, 100-foot upland review area right in here. All our work is outside the upland review area because the septic system is here, which was approved by the Newtown Health District. The proposed house is going more in the central portion of the property. We've got drainage for a 25-year design storm, catch basin, a well down by the driveway here. So really, wetlands are off-site, and this is the upland review area, and we're outside the upland review area.
All right. We'll go look at it, and next meeting we'll make a decision.
Okay.
Okay,
Right, and it's
Thank you.
it's 329 South Street. On my application, we didn't have the street number until recently, so, but it's,
329. Okay.
right, correct, okay?
Yeah,
So we'll see you
Russ,
next.
yeah,
Russ,
yes.
yeah, we're in prime building season and this will put me back another 30 days. Is this a general practice that you have to go out and look at
Yeah,
this?
we have to go look at it. So the policy is, and actually it's a state policy, is you submit an application at the meeting, and we can't act on it for 15 days anyway, because anybody from the public could petition for a public hearing, which nobody ever does, but that's what state rules are. And since we only meet once a month, that's how it works. Some towns meet twice a month, but we meet once a month. So we have to go out and look at it. What I could do, Paul, if the commission's okay with it, because we've done this, I could go out and look at it. The commission could approve this contingent upon my site visit, and that we don't grant that approval for 15 days from today, because we can't.
Thank you. That would
Will that
be
help?
helpful. That will be very helpful. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll make a motion to approve this as a non-regulated activity contingent upon a site inspection by either the chairman or a commission member approval, and that the approval cannot begin for 15 days from today to allow for a petition from the public. That's my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, I save you 15 days, Paul.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
It's greatly appreciated.
No problem.
Russ, do you want me to meet you out
Welcome
there?
to town.
Russ,
Thank you, Russ.
You want to meet you out
Pardon,
there, Russ? You want me to meet you out there, walk the site
Yeah,
with
it'd
you?
be
or
good to see you. That might be fun.
not? Okay, you want to give me a call, whatever, and I'll meet you
Yeah,
out
I'll email you or something, and
there. Okay,
because I'm right up the street, right?
yeah,
So
and I know the site, so I can walk you through much easier than you try to find yourself around there.
yeah, I just want to make sure there's no drainage issues. I'm sure
Sure.
there's not, but we've
No,
been
the stalls
burnt
are excellent
before
out
by
there.
not looking
Right.
and then getting burnt later and saying
Sure.
we should have looked at this.
Okay,
So-
we'll touch base. We'll touch base when you want to go out there, and I'll meet you out there.
Okay, Doug, thank you.
Great. Okay, Russ, thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right.
Next one's going to be a Squire Road repair. Let me just get to that real quick.
Yeah,
And Cardinal Engineering. And
this is the town of Roxbury. So
it is.
Pat Roy was here. I guess he ran
Here I
away.
also have Gary from Cardinal,
Oh,
the
there-
engineer.
okay.
Okay, well, let me
This
get this
is-
up.
This is Squire Road, everybody. The culverts are deteriorating and the supports are collapsing. It's not imminent, but it could be. One good storm would save us a lot of money and take the whole thing out. But the town needs to replace it, so the town hired Cardinal Engineering to do design. Which, Pat, remind me, it's the same exact thing. Same size culverts, 2 culverts.
No, we
Okay,
are
you
actually
changed up.
increasing
All
the
right.
culverts. It's a 60-inch right now. We're going to be going up to a 72. They're going to be longer. I'll let Gary talk about the specs. And we're also reworking the road a little bit to eliminate the island and make it more of a T intersection.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Gary, do you want to?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. All right, again, my name is Gary Giroux with Cardinal Engineering, and we are working for the town of Roxbury to replace the 2 culverts that are existing on Squire Road. And we also, at the same time, we were teeing up the intersection with South Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right now, South Street, it's a tough intersection for cars coming up Squire Road and approaching South Street. It's a very steep grade, so we're going to lessen the grade and provide a flatter area at the curb line of South Street so that at least one or two cars will not be on a steep slope, but be on a lesser slope, and it's easier to turn into South Street going north or south. That's a minor part of the project. The major project is the replacement of the two 60-inch culverts that are in disrepair. Again, as you mentioned, it's not imminent failure, but they will fail sooner than later. So the town is taking a proactive approach and replacing it as soon as they can get this approval done. Patrick, back me up. I assume this is still going to be done with town forces?
Correct. Correct.
So the entire project will be done with your town road crew under the supervision of your road foreman and assistance from people from our office. We will be out there on an as-needed basis to help and guide them with the installation, the layout, or anything they need to make sure that it follows all the protocols and the design guidelines established by these set of documents. I guess the important sheet is go to the very end of this project package, and that shows the impacts to your wetlands. If you can get to the last sheet of the plan set, please. All right. We have colored up all the impacts to waterways and wetlands. And we also have identified the impacts in square footage. Again, this is a culvert replacement, so there's really no way we cannot impact any wetlands or waterways. So what we have done is try to minimize the amount of impact. Basically, the total impacts for wetlands and waterways will be approximately 1,158. 1,642 square feet permanent impact. When I say permanent impact, I guess you're replacing two culverts with pipes. That's an impact of the waterway, and we're replacing riprap at the upstream and downstream end of the culverts themselves. Anybody who's been out there on the downstream side, there is a scour hole, so we want to place riprap across the channel to prevent scour from creeping up and back into the underneath the existing new culverts. We have identified all the wetlands, as you can see. We have identified both state and federal wetlands. Typically, we approach this project as if it's a DOT slash deep project. So we will identify all wetlands, both federal and state, and we follow all the guidelines and the best management practices that are published under the 2004 Erosion Sedimentation Control Guidelines. So we try to minimize everything we can, knowing that there is going to be impact. As far as construction, since there are two barrels, two pipes, construction is easier and to maintain flow in one pipe while we're replacing the other one. So it'll be done in two phases, one pipe at a time, while maintaining flow through the unobstructed pipe. Again, if this is done during the summertime, it will be done during times of minimal flow. So there should be no issues with flooding. At least we hope not, unless you get a hurricane. But again, the package that we have set up, which includes all the erosion sedimentation control notes per 2004 state guidelines, and all the other standard details that the state recommends. Again, it's all standard practice with DOT type projects and deep type projects that we are involved with on a daily basis. I think the important part is also, Patrick backed me up on this one, but like I said, if we are needed out in the field, we will be out there to help guide the installation practice project.
I think one thing noting, we looked at a couple different options, like, with the concrete and right now it looks like not only this is the easiest way to get it done and the most efficient, But it's, you know, with a bigger concrete where we need crane and everything, this design was thoughtful into having our crews do it. So it's pretty straightforward. We can work half at a time. We're going to use a trash pump. We're going to have, you know, areas held back. So, you know, after completing Painter Hill, it just seemed like this is not that big of a deal. It's very similar to that process where we have that riprap on the shores on the side. And I know that our whole public works crew got together with Gary and Tim from Cardinal, and we literally had an open forum talking about the design and the execution of it. So everyone's on board. Pretty proud of the team.
Yeah, it looks good. I have no questions. Anybody have questions from the commission?
How often does the engineer come by during the construction process? I'm not sure, you may have said that, but I didn't hear.
I did not say it. That's really up to Patrick to make that decision for us. Again, it's a phone call away.
Okay.
So, I mean,
As
I live in
needed-
Southbury,
as
so
needed
I
then?
come up every day if I have to.
Correct. We also have Davenport going on at the same time, so they're going to be right in the area as well.
Davenport will have a full-time inspector on the job, so we can always have him run down here if there's a problem.
I have a question. Are the pipes going to sit on the stream bed or are they going to be embedded?
The pipes will be, I believe, we typically embed the pipes 1 foot.
Okay.
So in this case, the answer is yes.
Okay.
And we try to keep, you know, let the natural material fill in.
Any other questions? I'll look for a motion.
Do we need to look at this, Russ?
Yeah. Yeah, anybody could go look at it. Pat, do you guys need emergency approval or you're good with us taking this up in June?
Absolutely. We have more than enough time. Our timeline is going to be from, you know, our overall timeline is July 1st to September 1st. When we're ideally looking to do this is the end of July based on the vacation schedules of our public works. But no, we have plenty of time. I wanted to make sure that we had this for you tonight so you have the time to walk it if you'd like. I'm completely available to walk it, and you can see the necessity of why this needs to be done. There's been, when you go to look at it, you'll see the patchwork repairs that have existed over time. But I think the big damage happened in the last storm with Ida when we lost that lower wall.
Yeah, you might want to get ahead of tropical storm season on this.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Which could be tomorrow.
Yeah, Rob, you're right. Everybody knows where this is. Everybody go take a look at it who can. At least one of us should make sure we go. So who wants to be the one that'll make sure that they go look at this?
I'm right across the street almost every day.
Okay. All right. So Rob will go look at this and anybody else should go take a look at it. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
One last thing on the agenda, 9 Judge Bridge Road. Is anybody here for that?
Yeah, Jeremy, I'm here.
Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Russ?
Good.
Hi, Russ and everyone. Jim Incognito and Denise Dickens here as well for the homeowners.
Hi there.
Hi. So this was a pool that was approved through an inquiry because there are no wetlands. Well, the wetlands were more than 100 feet away. And then I don't know if there's a complaint or John, you just happen to go by and I know I went by and asked you to go just take a look and make sure, because it looked like it was getting close to wetlands. I'm not sure how. Was it me that caused all this problem? Or did you go out and John? Is he here anymore? I don't think we could hear him. You gotta get your computer fixed, John. Get the town to kick in some money. Anyway, from the way it was described to me, there was some grading and stuff that went into the buffer zone. So we felt that the best way to take care of this was to submit an after the fact application. I noticed there was some pictures, Julie. Could you go back to that? And Jeremy, could you explain to us what we're looking at?
Yep. Some of the pictures with all the green grasses, that's all the before pictures. And then the pictures with the pool installed and the seed and hay, that's after I just put the lawn back together.
Okay.
Really, there was no elevation or
Somebody got a mute. John, I think you're off mute and you're causing a lot of disruption.
He's trying to talk to us, I think.
I know. Stop talking, John, and mute.
Yeah, it's not working for us.
It's not working, John. Just go ahead, Jeremy.
So what you're looking at right here is the after. The picture before that was the before. It shows there's no really grade changes, elevation changes. Nothing was pitched differently. I did have to come in and put up a silt fence after the project has started. But that took care of that.
Is that all that stabilized now? The grass must be in, right?
Oh, it's in. It's in. Just a couple little runoff spots where heavy rain, where the seed moved. So I just got to scratch it up and it's done.
Okay. All right. And
Silt
the fee
fence.
was paid?
Yep.
How far is that silt fence from the wetlands?
I think that is the wetland.
That silt fence is right on the property line. The wetlands is, I believe, on the other side.
Of that.
Yeah. I mean, other than repairing the lawn, everything was done past the 100 feet.
Okay.
And my only other comment would be just fertilizers and pesticides in that lawn area up against the wetlands.
Well, under our current regs, you can't do that without a permit. You can't fertilize and put herbicides down within 100 feet of the wetland. So it's going to have to be a meadow, basically, up where the buffer zone is.
Well, I'm kind of confused of where, because they said that the silt fence is at the property line and the wetlands are right behind there. I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah. You see the woods behind there? That's all wetland.
No, not right there. That's where previously Joe just is going to put his garden, I believe. But I think the wetlands is to the right and left of this picture you're looking at, over the property line.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, nothing was extended, nothing was pushed back. It's literally the exact blueprint of the existing lawn. No more, no less, mowing, in the future.
All right. I mean, they can mow. I'm not, we don't have regulations. They could mow, they could use it, they could do anything. But if they care about the environment, they won't use fertilizers or pesticides or herbicides
No, that's
near
not
the wetlands. I mean, that should be standard practice. I wish all these chemical companies would get in line with it. Actually, Rob Horgan convinced me to stop using all that stuff. And he's got a new thing called no mow May, where you don't mow in May because bees and birds are eating all the flowers that come up on the lawn. And I kind of like the whole idea of that. So, well, good. It looks like it came out great. It looks beautiful. You're lucky you got somebody to build a pool. I hear they're 2 years out now.
We're very fortunate.
$40,000 more. Anybody have any questions?
I'm still kind of confused of why this came to us, and you said there was a complaint made, because I just want to make sure that there doesn't appear to be, but I just want to make sure that there isn't any kind of issue or problem there, Russ.
What happened, Sue, is they got an inquiry for the pool from John, and they graded all around into the buffer area. In my opinion, it probably should have just went for the whole application, because how do you build a pool and not grade around it? I don't know. But even so, John could approve things in the buffer areas, not to say that the WEO can't do that. It's just that there was a concern raised that there were wetlands nearby. And we determined, since they came so close to the wetlands, not in the wetlands, but close, that they needed to submit an application. And that's what they did. It's after the fact. Hi, there's my little friend. Hi. So this solves all the problems.
Russ, can I speak for 1 second?
Pardon?
Can I speak for 1 second?
Yeah.
So John actually was made aware, and probably because he's all broken up, is that a swale was built to drain the water off from the barn, and it was discharging into the wetlands onto my property. And it's still discharging and running onto the property. And so I know John was looking to where the pool is discharging, since it's all.
There's somebody is not, I'm getting a lot of backfill from somebody, and they need to just shut their mic off. Do you hear that? I don't know if it's outside interference, but I couldn't really hear what Meredith was saying. Julie, why don't you mute everybody but Meredith? Yeah. Meredith, are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
All right, so you're saying they built a swale?
Yeah, Jared built a swale in the back, and it swaled and drained right into the wetlands onto my property. So I know John, and so John said he was going to have the swale covered up and seeded.
Hold on. Somebody's still talking here.
Yeah, this background is killing us. We can't really hear you, Meredith. I don't know if it's background in your house.
No,
No,
my
it's not
house is
us.
quiet.
Is everybody muted?
I'm sorry, I just unmuted myself to say this. The only outside of me, Meredith and Russ are the only ones that have open mics. I'm going to close mine again.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know where the background noise is coming from.
Yeah, it's weird.
How's it now? Is it better now, Russ?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So first, let me start by saying that our new neighbor, Mr. Incognito, is a great guy, swell guy, and super to have him as a new neighbor. And like the commission probably already knows, we have a lot of new people moving into town. They have no idea what wetlands regulations are or anything. And they built a beautiful pool, and we're happy for them. We have a couple of concerns. No concerns with their pool or really their backyard. Although, if you look in the left-hand side of the picture, there's a grass or a hay swale that goes down to the very left side of that silt fence. That silt fence is the delineated wetland. We had it delineated by a soil scientist many, many years ago. And that's now become the low point of the entire backyard. And all of the water from the entire backyard now goes to that very far left corner of that silt fence. And quite honestly, I mean, we like the wetlands, right? Not really that big of a deal, although it's also where the pool pump is and where all the chemicals drain. And so Meredith and I are looking to establish an organic vegetable crop in the back there. And so all we want to do is just to have the wetlands take a good look at this and ensure that the chlorine, or if a saltwater pool that generates chlorine and hydrogen and whatever other chemicals that are created, that are not going to affect the wetlands, and indirectly affect any kind of organic crop that we're growing back there. As for that, anything outside of that, that's really.
So what do you want, Joe? Joe, what is it you want? We need to get to the point.
We just want you guys to ensure that the water and the chlorine and the chemicals don't drain into the wetlands. And right now,
Where is the filter, Devon? I know you're on.
Yeah, hey,
Devon?
Devin,
Yeah,
Litchfield County Pools. So the pool equipment's to the photo we're looking at is to the left, right kind of where the woodland meets the grass, if you will. So, and we're talking about a weekly discharge of.
You mean to the left of the pool? Or
from where you're looking
the
right
very
now,
left corner where
your
Joe
left-
says all the water drains to.
Yeah, your left peripheral is where that is, kind of right on the.
So it's near the pool, right?
Yeah, probably 50 feet from the pool.
50 feet from the pool.
How
How
far
far
is the-
from the wetlands is it?
I mean, if the wetlands is down there, you know, just as far away as the pool is from wetlands.
it's within the upland. It's in a regulated.
75 feet?
It's outside of the regulated area.
The filter and everything is outside
Yeah.
the regulated area. Okay.
Yeah.
So then it's 100 feet from the wetlands.
Sure.
Right. State allows discharge up to 50 feet from a wetland. So that's all good because the chlorine and everything breaks down before that.
Well, we're talking, yeah, and we're only talking about 25 gallons a week. You know, a typical backwash on a sand filter, you run it for 30 seconds a week. So it's really not, it's not a significant amount of discharge.
Okay. Jeremy, how are you? The
Hey.
swale he's talking about.
So that
Is there a
swale,
swale there? Was the swale
During-
built or?
yeah, during the winter, as you know, construction sites are just covered in mud. So I tracked my machine down there and it did create a swale. The swale was not deliberately made to run off any water. The swale is now has been filled in, seeded, and hay.
So it's not a swale anymore.
No, there's no swale anymore.
Before the pool was built, where did the water naturally go? To the same place it's going now, or has the drainage been changed?
That back area, basically where you see that grass patch and that whole area that's hay to the left, that's all the same grade. I mean, there's no change in pitch or anything over there. It was just me diverting water carelessly during the project, you know, in the wintertime. That might have appeared to be like I made a swale, but
okay. Good enough. We have to go look at this because we can't approve anything at the first meeting. I mean, the pool's built, so I'll go out there. I'll take a look. I'm gonna especially take a look at some earlier aerial photographs to get a sense of what it was before and what it is now.
yeah, I have a lot before and afters. So
Okay.
I do as well, if you need anything.
And Jim and Denise, do you need to be there? Because you really don't need to be there. But I don't want to just come trouncing on your property with my golden retriever running around. He will jump in your pool, by the way.
Welcome anytime, Russell. Though we'd love to meet you live. So if you're here,
Okay. All right. So,
and Russ, I can meet you as well too. If, you know, that'd be fine.
yeah, Jeremy, what I'll do is you have my text. If you could give that to them.
Yep.
Then I could text them and set up a time and a date to meet them.
Sure.
Okay. And
thanks, Russ.
And Joe and Meredith, thank you for having concerns. We'll address those concerns. As you know, we can't approve anything at the first meeting, and anybody from the public could request a public hearing if you could get 25 other people to sign a form within 15 days of today. I'm not sure if you want to do that, but that option is there. But in the meantime, I'll go look with somebody from the commission and we'll get this wrapped up. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, everybody. Yeah. All right, that's it. We can't add to the agenda. I want to introduce everybody to Kathy Race. Is that how you say it, Kathy? Ratz?
Roz.
Roz. Okay,
Roz.
Kathy Roz. Kathy has been wanting to get on the commission for a couple months, and she's come to all the meetings. And even though she's come to all the meetings, she still wants to get on the commission. Is that right, Kathy?
That's right, Russ. And I've had the
Still
great
wanna
pleasure of.
get Wow.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm sitting in through finishing up module 1, rounding into module 2 of the state training.
Yeah, okay. So I've asked Patrick Roy, our first selectman, to put you on the selectmen's agenda for Monday, the first Monday of the month. And because you have to be appointed by the selectmen, but your name is in, okay?
Okay, great. Thanks, Russ.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
and
Okay.
actually Pat's here, but your name's in to put you in as an alternate.
Welcome, Kathy.
Lenora,
Great,
you're the
thanks,
next.
Russ. Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Kathy, and thank you for your interest. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Russ.
And then you'll have to go to Jimmy to get sworn at.
Yeah.
Right. Lenora, you're next in line to be a permanent member. Do you want to do that?
Sure, thank you.
Oh, great. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
So Patrick, you'll have to put Lenora on the agenda because we have to move her from a alternate to a permanent member.
Before anyone changes their mind, right?
Right. Could you have the meeting tomorrow morning?
I'll work on it.
Okay. That's great. Thanks, everybody.
Congratulations, both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good night now.
Bye.